Hello guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review. I have to say, I did not intend on making a video today, or for probably a couple of days, but I felt like this was fairly important to talk about. I wanted to talk about it. I like having reasons to put some more non-Nintendo content on the channel. I'm always excited to talk about Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, and I don't have as many opportunities to. So this definitely felt like something that was probably worth making a quick video about. So the gist of this video is pretty simple. Surprisingly, it was announced today, revealed by Microsoft, that unfortunately Crackdown 3 is going to be delayed until next year, 2018. Now, normally, just the delay of a game is not something that I would probably feel like I needed to talk to you guys about and get on camera and make a quick video about. Especially a game that A, I'm not very interested in, and B, I know a game that is so hugely ambitious and to a degree not even surprising to hear that the game is getting delayed. But the reason I wanted to discuss this Crackdown 3 delay a little bit is how it relates to the bigger picture for Microsoft, which is namely the Xbox One X. So the long and the short of it is that I feel that it's a pretty big deal that this game is delayed because of the fact that it was initially slated to launch right alongside of the Xbox One X and take advantage of some of the Xbox One X exclusive capabilities and the exclusive power and the 4K ability and all these different things that Microsoft probably would like to sell you on as far as the Xbox One X goes. And the fact that Crackdown 3 is a game that a lot of people have been looking forward to. Again, I'm not really so much interested in it, I could kind of care less. But there is a large group of gamers out there and people who were excited, so Microsoft very smartly was releasing these two products side by side, which was something I theorized for a very long time, way back even in the Scorpio days, where I was like, you know, they're going to have some sort of huge Microsoft published title to release right alongside of what was then the Scorpio, now we know the One X, so that they have a reason to kind of boast what the power and the capabilities of the console are going to be, as well as have not only a brand new piece of hardware on the market to hopefully want to sell to a lot of people, but also some software, and maybe just get double the sales to all sorts of people who are excited about all of this new gaming stuff. But sadly, that's not the case, so let's really quickly get to the quote that Microsoft released about the delay of Crackdown 3. This is coming from a Shannon Loftus, who is Microsoft Studios Publishing General Manager. And this is what Shannon had to say about the decision to delay Crackdown 3. We're very excited about Crackdown 3, and so are many fans, and so it's a difficult call to move the release date. However, we want to make sure to deliver the right game with the right quality and at the right time. Crackdown 3 is a hugely ambitious game, and we want to ensure we deliver the right experiences all the way through every part of the game, whether that's campaign, co-op multiplayer, or our competitive multiplayer modes, Wrecking Zone. Getting the balance right between the three modes is important, and we are going to take the extra development time to ensure that. Gamers can expect Crackdown 3 in spring of 2018. So, pretty straightforward, pretty obvious stuff, you know, typical PR statement, pretty easy to understand. I have to say, you know, first thing when it comes to this, on the surface level, when you look at just Crackdown 3, the game itself, I think it's fine that it's being delayed, not just because it's a game that I'm not interested in, but because, you know, sometimes a really big game with very ambitious goals, just like what's said here, it's a hugely ambitious title, sometimes it just takes that much time to make the game good, and all they're trying to do is make sure that the game is really worthwhile by the time it launches, because they know that there is such a large conglomerate of people and gamers out there excited to pick up this game, and it's a big deal. They want it to deliver properly. It's something that Nintendo does quite often, and a lot of us will praise Nintendo and other developers for doing the same thing. And in terms of just the software development of Crackdown, I have to do the same. They feel this game isn't ready, they're making the really tough call to delay it. That's totally fine. But it's when you look a little bit deeper that you start to potentially see the problem. And like I said, the whole basis of this video is the fact that this was something that was very huge to the launch of the Xbox One X. And now that Microsoft doesn't have this game to launch on the exact same day and date as their new Xbox, what does that mean? And it's very strange, you know, I want to believe in the One X, not because I'm interested in it, and not because I even want to be interested in it. I could kind of, as of right now, I could care less about the machine. I've seen nothing about it that makes it an appealing purchase to me, or something that makes me need to replace my current Xbox One with the One X. If I didn't yet have an Xbox One, maybe I would be like, well, I know I need to buy an Xbox One soon, or I would like to buy an Xbox One, and the One X is coming out, like, maybe this is the one I should get because it's the ultimate version. Like, I would probably be seriously considering it, even though it's a little bit pricey. But considering the fact that I have an Xbox One, and I really like my Xbox One, I like the Xbox One brand quite a bit, I don't feel compelled to pick up a One X. It's just not that interesting to me. But as I was saying, I do still like that Xbox One brand, and I would like to see the One X actually be successful. Mostly because I'm just not someone who's going to wish failure on any video game company, on any video game manufacturer. That's not interesting to me. I don't think that that's a mature perspective. And I know it is very common on the internet, in the gaming community, you know, on Twitter and YouTube and all these other places and forum and message boards. Everyone is like, oh, I like this company and I hate this company, so I want this company to fail and do really poorly. Like, I'm not interested in that, man. Like, I have the hierarchy of which companies and consoles I prefer, but I don't want anyone to do poorly. I don't want anyone losing money, or I don't want to say going out of business, leaving the video game business, and I certainly don't want to see people lose jobs, because you guys have to remember that's something that happens when something as catastrophic as a brand new console fails and a company has to step out of the business. And that's what makes it pretty hard for me to kind of see what's going on here and sort of share the perspective that I see. I feel like the Xbox brand is in a lot of trouble. And I know, you know, maybe I'm jumping the gun. I'm not trying to be the guy that's trying to throw myself off a bridge about this whole thing. I mean, we're talking about one game that's getting delayed. What's the big deal? Well, yes, it's only one game getting delayed. And like I said, I think it's going to make the game a better product for it. But it's the business model that we're seeing Microsoft deal with and put out there and struggle with. And the fact that they're spending so much money probably to create this Xbox One X and to sell it to people, and the way some people have talked about the innards of the machine, it's entirely possible, if not very likely, that it's being sold at a loss. Microsoft is already struggling and losing money in the home console video game space, and they're also making all their titles available both on Microsoft Windows and on the Xbox, which is confusing and flooding the market in a whole different way. And we have an Xbox brand that, again, I like, and I love my Xbox One as a machine. It may not have a great library right now, but it's a great machine. And Microsoft they don't have a good library, like I was just saying. So what are they selling to people? What's enticing people to buy any version of Xbox, let alone this $500 PC emulating crazy, wacky freaking thing that's coming out in November that now doesn't have this key Microsoft published launch title that was going to be coming alongside of it? You start to see all of these cracks in Microsoft's home console business model. And for a while, I've been wondering, does it even make sense for Microsoft to be in the home console space? I've loved the Xbox brand since it started. I mean, back in the OG Xbox Halo days, like I was a big fan. It's always been pretty much my third favorite company on the market between Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. But I've liked them. I've liked the Xboxes. The 360 was a fantastic video game console, you guys. Absolutely a top 10 all-time video game console. So they've done great things. But I feel like this generation, they've been so confused, and they've so directly set themselves up as direct competition to Sony, and Sony has been wiping the floor with them this generation. And normally I would say, so what, just keep moving forward and make the next thing better. But in this climate, it feels like the simple fact that the Xbox One has struggled to compete appropriately with the PlayStation 4, and the fact that they have no library, and the fact the Xbox One X is coming and probably not going to sell very well, makes me wonder what they're doing. They're floundering in a very weird way. And I have to say, I know we're just using the jumping off point of one game getting delayed, but I really truly think that on top of everything else that seems to have been going not so great for Microsoft and the Xbox brand, I feel like this is close to, not exactly, but close to one of the final nails in the coffin for the Xbox. So again, in wrapping this up, I will freely admit, maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions that aren't really necessary, you know? And again, I need to remind you guys, I say this is not a Microsoft or an Xbox hater. I love it. I want it to succeed. And I know people are going to be like, oh, you just hate the Xbox because you like Nintendo. Like, nope, not the case. I have an Xbox controller right here because I have an Xbox One behind me that I love and that I love to play. And I love Microsoft's games and Halo and Gears and all that stuff. So I just have to say, you know, maybe I'm jumping the gun here, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Crackdown situation. I just don't know who the Xbox One X is going to be sold to this year. I don't know the market that it's for. I don't know who's interested in buying one. I don't think Microsoft knows the answers to those questions, and it seems like the fact that Microsoft, that seemed to have no direction, is deciding to double down on this new, upgraded, really expensive version of the Xbox makes me think they don't know what they're doing with their business model. Like, why would you release this if you're not going all in? And it doesn't seem like Microsoft is going all in. I mean, I loved their E3 press conference because they had a lot of great games to show, but almost none of those were exclusive, and it didn't really show us. I mean, I liked the simple messaging of the One X, but they didn't make it stand out from the crowd. And I thought that that was initially by design, but I'm starting to feel more and more like that maybe wasn't the case, and maybe it's just a simple fact of they don't know what else to do with it. And you have to think it's costing them so much money with this thing, so I don't know. I'm just concerned about the Xbox brand, and I'm concerned about Microsoft. I feel like in 3 years, you guys, we probably won't have an Xbox. I'm more so now than ever. Yes, I know it's just a delay of a game, and I know I'm saying that a couple of times, but I understand it, and I need to repeat it to you guys. I know it's just a delay of one game, but I think it's the breadcrumb leading to a bigger problem, and I fear that in 3 years, we may not have an Xbox. So, I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen. Tell me what you guys think about this. Are you disappointed about Crackdown? Do you not care? Do you think the One X is going to be affected or not? I definitely think the Xbox One X is going to be adversely affected by not having this big title available the same day that it launches. I think it's going to be a problem. So, I don't know, man. Talk about this below. Hopefully everything works out for the better for Microsoft and the Xbox brand in the future. And that is it for this video today. Thanks as always for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and I will catch you next time on another video.